All right, thanks for joining me again today. Today we're going to learn how to place an image and a shape inside of text using Affinity Designer. Now I am new to Affinity Designer, yes, I do admit that. However, I'm up for the challenge to learn new things and I want to share what I've learned with you so far. So this is what we're going to recreate today, and I'm going to start off by going to the File menu and I'm going to create a new workspace. Now always make your workspace the width and height that your final project will be, obviously. For me, I'm just going to accept the defaults and I'm going to say create. Now I've got a new blank space and I'm going to start off by placing some text on my workspace. So I'm going to come on over here to text. And when you come over to text, there are two options. There is an artistic text tool and frame text tool. Now the artistic text tool allows you to place text on your workspace and make it larger and smaller. That's usually just for one text box. But if you've got multiple paragraphs, then you'll want to use the frame text tool, which creates a frame where you can type paragraphs of text in there. So I'm going to go ahead and click Artistic Text Tool. And I'm going to click and drag this letter on my workspace. It's going to disappear, in which case I'm going to, in all caps, type in line. And I'm going to click my move tool and I'll just click outside of that and I'll just reposition that here to the middle. Now while I've got my text selected, I'm going to come up here to the font and I'm going to use a font called Franklin Gothic. And I'm going to use this one called Heavy because it's nice and thick. And before we proceed, I'm going to make my text taller by clicking on this selector circle right in the middle of my word and just dragging it up to make my word taller. And I'll just click outside and reposition it like that. Now I'm going to come on over here to my right side and I'm going to come to stock photos. And in my stock photo selection, whether it's Pexels or Pixabay, I'm going to search for leaves. And I'm going to place this photo right on my workspace. You can place any photo whatsoever. I'm going to rotate this just so that I can cover my whole text with this photo. So I'm just going to bring that like that. And I'm just going to stretch it out like this. Now, if you want it proportion to size, then you can grab the corners and go outward instead of grabbing the sides and making it larger. So I'm going to click now on the layers tab, and now we have our image and our text. Those are the two layers that we have in our side panel. I'm going to grab the image and I'm going to drag it down into the text and to the right of my text, and that will clip it inside of my text. So now when I open up that one layer, I'm going to have that image inside of my text. It'll be underneath. I'm now going to create a shape. So I'm going to come on over here to my left panel and I'm going to select the rectangle shape and I'm going to create a rectangle by just clicking and dragging on my workspace. Now I want to make this shape lime green. So I'm going to come up here to my fill and I'm going to move the circle all the way over to the green. And then I'll just pick a color that I want to use. Maybe I'll just leave it at that. And so now we need to get this rectangle inside of our text because we want to place more than one element inside our text, right? That's what this whole tutorial is all about. But before we do that, we're going to add some curves to our rectangle. So with the rectangle layer selected, we're going to come down here to the warp tool. So it's this funny looking thing, that tool that looks warped with a grid on it, and I'm going to click it. And what I want is to use the mesh because I want to kind of just customize my own warping, but you can select any one of these. These are kind of like presets, but I'm going to select the mesh option, which is going to give me a grid on my workspace on top of that rectangle. And what I'm going to do now is, with my selector already selected, I'm going to click on the second dot, and I'm just going to drag that down like that. And I'm also going to drag this one down like this. And I'm going to grab my selector because I want to make this rectangle the shape or the length or width of my text. So I'm just going to make it smaller like that. All right, so here is our shape. And so once you're done making curves in your shape, then we're going to do the same thing we did with that image. We want to bring that image inside of the text. Nothing prevents us from placing 10 images or clipping 10 images inside of our text. At least I don't know, but you know what? I'm new to Affinity, so don't quote me on that. So we're going to come back up to that warp group. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab it and we're going to clip it to the text. So I'm going to grab it, and here's my text, and I'm just going to clip it right in there. And now I'll have both that warp group in there with my rectangle and the image. And so here it is right here. Now, the final thing that we're going to do is we're going to take this warped rectangle and we're going to convert it to curves. That way we can make it bigger or smaller and move it around as we want to. So I'm going to come up here to the toolbar and I'm going to select Convert to Curves. And that might take a few seconds. Once it's done, that warp group is going to disappear. Okay, so we're done now. And now what we can do is, if we expand the group, we'll notice that that warp image is gone and we're left with just the rectangle that's been warped and converted to curves. And if we want, we can resize this image and we can move it up and down as we need to. So if you learned anything in this tutorial about Affinity Designer 2, press that like button, subscribe, and turn that notification bell on. And if you want to learn more about Canva, you can also join my YouTube channel membership, where I go live every week. For now, my friends, I will say bye-bye until next time.